Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Jared Dienda, Ryan Sage. Ryan, great to see you. We had a month hiatus, and now here we are. And we have a number one qualifier in Peter Visick. Peter Visick from Poland, he gets the pole. We're talking about the number one qualifying position with a score of 96, a near perfect run. Just a little bit of points left there on the track, but he is just he might be the guy to beat here this weekend, right?
So congratulations to him, and now we've got head-to-head matchups coming up next.
We're going to bring in Ryan Lontaine, one of the judges, but let's look at the standings. So James Dean comes in number one seeded driver, Frederick Osbo, Chris Forsberg, Peter Visick, who is our number one qualifier, and then Justin Pollock.
Well, just like the top 5 is very close in points, 6 through 10 is also equally as close. You got Kristaps Blues, Forrest Wang, Odie Bachis, Matt Field, and Ryan Turkin. Any one of those drivers that gets a podium here is going to jump right into that top 5.
Also interesting enough, Forrest Wang, he got double zeros, just incomplete, so he is a no-show here in head-to-head.
Now, Ryan, we had a great qualifying day yesterday, but let's get right into today's format with head-to-head.
It's top 32 competition. Each driver is going to be going against another driver throughout the top 32, all the way down to the finals. It's going to be head-to-head battles. We're either going to choose driver A, driver B, or one more time if we can't figure out who did a better job and who deserves the win. Looking at the map, you can see those hash-marked areas with the red lines. Those are the areas where the chase car should be expecting a slowdown from the lead car. We do this so that the chase cars can be close to the lead car all the way throughout the run, and they know that they can expect a slowdown in specific areas.
All right, now you guys get very specific in the drivers' meetings about what the lead and the chase driver should do. So let's talk about the lead and chase driver goals.
Lead driver goals, they need to be running the qualifying line, essentially. They want to be driving as they're attempting to do at a very high level in qualifying. So they're trying to get that 100-point qualifying lead run. And then they're going to be running a chaseable lead run, which means no big accel, decels in weird areas, not going off the track, making it easy or a little bit more, I guess, predictable for the chase car to follow them. So looking at style, the driver still needs to adhere to the fluidity and the commitment side of things. So the rotations, the transitions have to be really quick and precise. They want to make it aggressive. They want to make it a little bit risky maybe. They want to be outdoing what the other car is going to be doing when they're in the lead. Lead-to-lead, chase-to-chase comparisons, you don't want to leave anything on the table because the other car might do a better job when they get into that position.
What are the goals that you guys have stipulated for the chase driver?
The chase driver needs to be as close as possible throughout the entire run. They need to initiate no later than the latest initiation point, which is the yellow cone on the wall right near the Les Schwab sign. They want to match or better the lead driver's angle throughout the course. They're basically treating that lead car like a moving clipping point. They want to stay as close to them as possible and imitate or mimic what they're doing all the way from start to finish.
Now, finally, we have a list of incompletes that we built off yesterday from qualifying.
So the first 3 are the same as you would have in qualifying. So if the lead driver, or sorry, if either driver spins out, drifts in the opposite direction they should be, or if anything latchable opens, then we have unsportsmanlike conduct, inactive chase. We also have passing or getting passed illegally. Any of the inside clipping points are always legal to pass at, but it has to be done in the proper manner.
Sometimes through that power alley, you see somebody slide a little bit deep there, and if you can get inside and stay on the right line, that could be an opportunity to pass.
That's it. If a driver goes really wide on outside zone 2, that chase driver could theoretically get in there on in that inside clip 1 and do a really good job of matching the line that they're supposed to, let's say in qualifying, and as long as they do that in a clean fashion, that would be considered a legal pass, and they would get the win for that run.
Well, as a fan, I hope I see one of those today. This is the AutoZone Throwdown presented by Rain-X, and this is round 5 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. Up next, it is the Essence of Drifting Tandem Matchups Top 32.
Welcome back. We are at Evergreen Speedway, the AutoZone Showdown presented by Rain-X. I'm Jared Dienda, Ryan Sage. Before we see our first run, which will be a bye run of Peter Visick, our number 1 Black Magic top qualifier, Lorette Nickel caught up with Farouk Kawai.
Every single driver here is constantly working on their craft and on their car, and this driver is no different. But you had some stress getting here, and there's a main reason why you're able to compete. So tell us why that is, Farouk.
Absolutely. So we had a lot of help from a member of Project Reckless. Sheldon Kopek is, we work with a charity called Project Reckless in San Francisco, and they're a capacity development program for at-risk youth. And what they do is these kids essentially learn about racing and about cars in order to get him on a better path. And without Sheldon's help, I mean, he put about 60 hours a week over the last 2 weeks to help me with this car in San Francisco and get it here. And without his help, we wouldn't be here. Simple as that.
Amazing. And you're making adjustments on the fly. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we got here, we got the car on the dyno. We got the motor back on Friday. We got the car on the dyno on Monday, and the car essentially was finished at the track on Thursday. So we towed it up, we got unloaded, and we just kept going. And the car was actually tuned live by Bartosz Solarski in Poland, and we have a laptop strapped in the car, and he was tuning all practice Thursday. He tuned the tip-in, he readjusted the nitrous, he did the timing, and that's all while I'm practicing. So sometimes you guys will see me do some wonky stuff, but honestly it's because we're a small crew and a dedicated crew, and a huge thank you to Reckless Racing and Project Reckless for not only giving us the tools that we need, but also giving the youngsters out there the tools they need for life. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Best of luck.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Good luck to you, Farouk, and thank you, Lorette. Our top 32 is about underway, and again, we're starting things off with a bye run. Again, been coming here since 2006, 12 years of history here at Evergreen Speedway, and it's officially underway. Point of no return, the Wordhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires, 2JZ powered Sylvia S15. Peter Visick got the victory last year at the final round, Irwindale, California. And just like that, Peter Visick advances on to the top 16.
Well, Jared, as you mentioned, he's one of the 2 drivers in the top 5 that doesn't have a win yet this year, though he does have that win at Irwindale and certainly setting himself up very nicely. A quick bye into the top 16, and you can see exactly why he qualified #1 here. Very aggressive initiation, early initiation, and then he stays really high above that top line there. The judge is really allocating a lot of points for both line and angle on the big bank, and then of course coming down into that touch and go area, you can see the big angle that he holds out there to outside zone #2, and then very fluid motion, great transitions into the final 2 inside flips.
All right, next entire top 32 continues. Our next battle will be Michael Essa, who is already on the line. He qualified 16th, and he's going against number 17 qualifier Jeff Jones. And I got to say, Jeff Jones looked really strong yesterday. Surprisingly, you could see the stats there. These guys have never seen battle against each other. It's very surprising. Jeff Jones in that Doc Edelbrock powered V8 370Z. Michael Essa in the Essa Autosports Achilles tire BMW. All right, Essa will lead. Again, just barely qualifying better than that of Jeff Jones, just 1 spot ahead. And Essa out of the gate. What do we got? Essa initiates, point of no return. Like I said, there's a line denoting on the track, don't cross over. Michael Essa, really good angle. Jeff Jones maybe give himself a little bit too much room here, but you can catch up. Here in the power alley, both of them getting out to the touch and go. There goes Jeff Jones lunging forward, past that first front clip, and wrapping around the second. Pretty straight up battle there, Ryan. Like I said, Jeff Jones maybe give himself a little too much room there, but not too shabby.
Well, we did see a little bit of a mistake from Jeff after initiation. He lost a little bit of angle. Let's see exactly what happened there. You see he gets out of the gate pretty early. Michael Essa initiates. Watch right here from Jeff. You can see he loses angle right there. Kind of has to almost reinitiate the vehicle, but then he's able to catch up here. But Michael Essa out front is not making a lot of mistakes. You can definitely see he's not running away. He's getting wide into the touch and go. Great angle there for outside zone #2. Tight on this inside clip here. Jones keeping proximity pretty decent there, but now as they switch things up, you have to imagine that Michael Essa's spotter is going to let him know that Jones had that mistake on initiation, and to be cautious of that himself as he goes to the chase position. But you can see Jeff through that smoke line coming through the power alley there, doing a great job. Let's switch things up as now Jeff Jones goes to the lead and Michael Essa will chase him down.
You can see the cameras being positioned there. Let everybody know you are at Formula Drift Seattle, #FDSEA. Share it on all social media fronts and let everybody know we are live, baby, here at Evergreen Speedway. All right, so you can see that light there in the middle, that start chicane instituted. Like I said, there is a line running down the middle. They don't want them to cross over. And there we go, Jeff Jones quickly initiates. Great angle from Jones. Wow, big angle there. And Ryan, you talked about Essa and his spotter. Maybe give him enough to communicate, maybe not. We'll see. Now into that power alley, Jeff Jones failing all of it, tight to that front clip. And brings it on home. Man, these guys are making it look too easy, Ryan. We talked about it earlier before we started, and kind of no news is good news, right? Like yesterday, no accidents.
Well, strong performance here from Jones. You can see that gap established here, nice and high on the bank by Jones. High risk maneuver there. You can see Essa down a little bit lower, lacking the angle coming off the bank there. But Jones gets out to the touch and go right here to outside zone 2. Now Essa comes through the smoke line, is able to close the door here, but Jones, nice and smooth transition through that last inside clip as Michael Essa rides with him in the smoke line. Now here is through the touch and go, slowing it down. You can see Michael Essa appears through the smoke line. Jones brings it back around. He stays tight on that inside clip with Essa just about maybe a foot or so away. And then that final last inside clip there, both drivers pretty close to each other.
Again, our 3 judges, Ryan Lontaine, Brian Eggert, and Andy Yen. Results are coming in. Slide them left for Jones, slide them right for Essa. Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Ryan says, one more time. That is a one more time from Ryan. Andy says Michael Essa, and Brian says one more time. So that is a one more time for these 2 gentlemen. And again, majority rules, so 2-1. We are getting prepared here for our next battle. And Lorette Nickel caught up with a driver who's having some issues this weekend. Lorette?
Well, unfortunately, when I ran over to Dirk Stratton's pits, he was under the car, and you're chasing an electrical gremlin.
Yeah.
Tell us what's happening.
Yeah, we've had a electrical problem this whole weekend. Starting Thursday, the car wouldn't start properly, so we kind of sorted that out. Car started up, and then it started to break up and shut down mid-bank. Well, we changed some things and got that sorted out, and this morning the car's been running great. Last practice lap, same thing starts happening again. You know, we get halfway through the bank and the car just shuts down. Can't really do anything from there, and so we're just trying to see if we can trace down some sort of loose ground or random problem that just keeps resurfacing. So we're working through that, and as long as this thing runs the whole way around the track, I'll do my best to put a good run together and hope to move on from top 32. We're going up against Alex Hilbrun, so it should be good. We heard he had some issues too, which is unfortunate. It's not fun at all. So hopefully we can both get our cars out there 100% and put on a good show.
Okay. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Dirk.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette, and good luck to you, Dirk. Our next battle, Chelsea Denofa, against a Formula Drift rookie in Kazuya Taguchi. You guys have never seen battle before. Chelsea Denofa will lead. He qualified 8th compared to 25th of Taguchi. Chelsea Denofa in the BC Racing Nitto Tires Ford Performance Mustang RTR, rounding out that 2-car RTR team. See Chelsea warming up his Nittos. And you can see the white lipstick there, the white nose, the nostrils, signature RTR LED lights in the grill, and Chase is going to send him out of the gate. And here we go. Clean start, no cones hit. As Chelsea throws it into the bank, Taguchi getting gapped here from Denofa for the attitude of that car, using all of that BC Racing suspension, squatting it into the touch and go. Taguchi a little bit deeper there. Denofa, a wide swing around that first front clip. Kind of a window of opportunity there for Taguchi, but does not reap the rewards. And the crowd erupts.
Well, you can see out of the gate here, Taguchi opting to go nose to tail here. Nice and high initiation there by Denofa. He's just above that top line there by more than half of his vehicle. Taguchi tucking up on the inside here as Denofa shoots out. He's going to overshoot outside zone 2 a little bit, and that causes him to miss inside clip number 1. But Taguchi really not a factor here. So now they'll mix things up. Taguchi will go to the lead, and Chelsea Denofa will chase him down.
All right, well, this gets interesting here as Taguchi and Denofa going against each other, and they have not seen battle, so you have to assume that Denofa and his team watching Taguchi during practice, strategy, approach, initiation. Denofa definitely gets rowdy.
Sending cars.
Could hear our official yelling about sending cars, so we are ready. Taguchi out front, Denofa giving chase. And here we go, fellas. Taguchi initiates. Denofa give himself some room. There's a little bit of angle. Compromises that to gain some ground on Taguchi. Good job by Taguchi in that lead position. Gets out to the touch and go. Denofa cuts through the smoke on that second outer zone. Taguchi transitions. Both of them had a similar line going from that second outer zone to that first front clip. So a wide swing and not getting tight to that first front clip, Ryan.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Denofa sides for the side-to-side action here, trying to stay as close as he can on initiation. Taguchi, similar line to Denofa up on the bank. Denofa trying to keep the pressure on as he comes down. And both drivers hit that power alley. Denofa through the smoke line. Like, as you mentioned, Jared, Taguchi through that section of the course a little bit wide. It looks like Denofa was able to take advantage of it and tuck up on the inside there. And then both drivers cross the finish line. And now we'll go to the judges.
All right, judges, verdict is in. Slide them left for Taguchi, right for Denofa. And Ryan, Andy, and Brian say, looks like all of them say Chelsea Denofa. Chelsea Denofa unanimously gets the win. And there is Dirk Stratton warming up his Achilles tires as Alex Hilbrun from Peru. These guys have never seen battle against each other. Alex Hilbrun dominant in Pro 2. He's been in Pro Championship for quite a few years. And Dirk Stratton making the jump from Pro 2 to Pro this year. Supercharged V8 under the hood of Hilbrun's BMW. He will lead. Hilbrun qualified 9th compared to 24th of Dirk Stratton. And got a little issue here. All right, looks like Hilbrun jumped the light, so that'll be a restart. That's a strike 1 for Hilbrun. And we are clear to send. And looks like we got a clean start. Here we go. Hilbrun out front. Stratton in the chase position. Hilbrun initiates. Looks like Stratton not having issues. Oh, and then just as I say that, gets out of angle. Really fighting the car right now. Whoa, buddy. Stratton lunging. Getting the nose taken off here. Stratton, an interesting approach there. But Hilbrun keeps it sideways. Ryan, kind of wonky there, unfortunately, for Dirk Stratton.
Well, as we heard from Stratton, he was having some difficult times with the vehicle, and you can see he gets a weird start there. Hilbrun is nice and high on the bank. Really low angle here from Stratton. Now watch as they come down off the bank. Stratton's going to be on the inside here. Hilbrun gets out to the touch and go just barely, but then right there as he transitions through, Stratton was right there as he transitioned back around, and then they made contact in the front there. Some definite damage to the vehicles. Let's take a look at it again from this angle. Watch Stratton as he's coming up. He goes right into the center of the power alley and doesn't really leave a whole lot of room for Hilbrun to transition, is what it looks like at first pass, but we'll definitely want to get Ryan in here to give his evaluation of that and what the consequences will be, since there is damage sustained to the vehicle.
Since it's just bumper damage, we're not going to really worry about it too much. Both cars are back at the line. We're not really concerned with the collision. It was more of a Rubbings racing kind of situation, so we're not going to assess fault for that collision. But it did look like Stratton was in the wrong place there. Hilbrun looked like he might have slowed down a little bit in that area, maybe, but it wasn't enough that Stratton should have been able to avoid it, basically, especially with the line that he was on. Clearly not in the right place on the track.
Lose the power, lose the angle, because we saw Stratton in that chase position. He was way down in the bank, probably middle and just lacking any angle. So that's very difficult to follow.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be interesting to watch.
All right, so Stratton will lead. Hilbrun will give chase. And the judges digesting that first run. Here is the second half of this battle. And it looks like Stratton dropping down here. Initiating. Looks like he has no issues right now. Tapping the bumper on the wall. But, oh, and look at that. Looks like comes out. Whoa, buddy. That could have been a lot worse, I'll tell you that. So Stratton really checking up. Oh, man, unfortunately for Dirk, yeah, it just seems like today and this weekend is just not his day, unfortunately. Let's take a look at this again here, Ryan.
Yeah, sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. And for this day, you know, Dirk will take this back as a big learning assessment. You can see he taps the wall there. Great bit of driving, keeping the car off the wall in that section. But there he does tap it and then loses the... And right there, Alex Hilbrun just glides on by. Let's take a look at it coming off the bank. You can see there's the tap. That would have been an incomplete, basically, by the judges. And then as he tries to transition back around, here comes Hilbrun. And just right there, you see the front.
Knocks off his kidney grills.
Yeah, the front bumper grazing the back. That will be a win for Alex Hilbrun, nonetheless, and a learning lesson for Stratton.
All right, let's make it official. Slide him right for Hilbrun. Unfortunately for Dirk Stratton, he is knocked out. But Alex Hilbrun gets the victory in his Nitto tires. Inca Madness Racing, IMR, BMW. All right, looks like, yeah, there's a close-up you can see. And just a little kiss of the bumper and knocks off a little kidney punch. So we are revisiting the one more time, that of Michael Essa and Jeff Jones. And again, that is not Dean and Mohan, FYI. Already advancing on, if you're just joining us, is Peter Visick. He had a bye run. Chelsea Denofa advances on in top 16, and that of Alex Hilbrun. And here we go. Michael Essa will lead. Jeff Jones giving chase. Essa. Nice early initiation for him. Jeff Jones trying to play catch up here. Essa high on the bank. Little shimming into the power, going way beyond that touch and go is Essa. Going through, you can see some of that white powdery stuff on the ground. That is to pick up the fluid, so no problem there. Ryan, let's look at it again.
Oh, and you know this is a good opportunity for Jeff Jones to take advantage of Michael Essa being down one cylinder as he's fighting power. You can see Jones starts to gain a little bit of ground here, but Michael Essa doing a great job out front on that big bank here, though he does drop a tire or two into the power alley section of the course on that touch and go. Now bringing it back around, you can see both drivers fighting for a position here as Jeff Jones tries to close the door there towards the end. This is where Michael Essa drops two tires right through that touch and go area. Jeff Jones coming through the smoke line, trying to keep it tight. He's pretty close right there. Then Essa accelerates to that first inside clip. Jones trying to keep the angle as deep as he possibly can. And now we will switch things up as both drivers head to the start line.
All right, so here we are. Jeff Jones will lead, and Michael Essa will give chase. So again, this one more time battle is the second half of the one more time. Are we going to get a clear-cut winner? About to find out. Jeff Jones wrapping it around those cones, got a clean start, and Jones initiates. Just rolls into it. Essa, you can see him again shoring up some angle to gain some ground. Jones throwing some more angle at it, all the way out to touch and go. Essa, an interesting approach there from Michael Essa. Good job from Jones and Essa. Ryan, take a look at going into the power alley. Michael Essa on that chase run. Really interesting.
Well, here they are side by side. Essa opting to initiate right with Jones. Jones mid-high line on the bank. Essa, as you said, closing the door, a little bit less angle. You can see him a little bit twitchy there in the chase position, getting pretty close here, but Jones leading down off the bank, hitting that touch and go. Essa through the smoke line. Puts a lot of angle into the vehicle. We'll definitely want to take a look at that again. He was able to close the door there. Now as we finish up this last inside clip, the run is over. It's in the judge's hands. Here it is. Essa basically, what he does is he doesn't get out to the touch and go and follow Jones out to that section of the course. It does give him some proximity, so sometimes, Jared, you know, drivers are having to make sacrifices depending on what's going on with the vehicle, where they find themselves in competition at any given time.
All right, results are in here. That was pretty quick from the judges, Ryan, Andy, and Brian. So slide him left for Jones, right for Michael Essa. And Ryan says Jeff Jones. Andy says one more time, and Brian says Jeff Jones. Jeff Jones gets the victory.
Essa seemed to just give up too much in the chase position to maintain proximity. He wasn't able to match Jeff Jones's line, his angle, especially coming into the power alley area where he wasn't able to get out to the touch and go at all. He completely sacrificed that to try to make up proximity at outside zone 2. outside zone 1, he really had a hard time matching Jones's angle and line as well. So it just looked like Essa was unable to match what Jones was doing, whereas Jones in his chase position did a great job.
Yep, totally agree, bro. But right now it's James Dean versus Kyle Mohan. American Ethanol Mazda Tricks, built to Apex, Mazda MX-5. James Dean, Wordhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires. Mohan on Nexon Tires. James Dean will lead. He qualified 4th compared to 29th of Mohan. Let's see how Mohan hangs in the rearview mirror of James Dean. The Machine versus the Menace. Ooh, and quickly James Dean gets high on the bank. Big angle there. Kyle Mohan working his way, trying to inch closer to that of James Dean. Out to the touch and go goes James Dean. Mohan does not get out there. Tight to that front clip. Transition. Oh, Mohan all over the course. Whoa, buddy. That could have been sketchy.
Well, that last section of the course there, Jared, where you see Mohan go off course, he actually had the cone get stuck under his left front wheel. Now let's see what happens here. You can see Kyle Mohan does a great job giving James Dean enough room to initiate, but quickly James Dean is nice and high on the bank. Mohan struggling to keep pace here. He's on a little bit of a lower line, and you do have to make that sacrifice with Dean and his vehicle being so quick. Dean, nice transition right up there. Now watch this. As we come to this last section of the course, you can see that Mohan's on a tighter line here, and the cone gets sucked up right underneath his left wheel. He can't turn, and he slides off course. Here it is again. You can see he's already on a tight line from hitting that first inside flip, but he kind of center punches the left side of the vehicle right underneath, and it gets stuck just perfectly, and that is just a bit of bad luck there for Kyle Mohan, because that is possibly going to be an incomplete run.
And Mohan will lead. James Dean giving chase. Like you said, Ryan, unfortunately on that first run, Mohan going off course. Have to assume that will be viewed as an incomplete run, but right now Mohan's gonna throw down against the defending champ and our current points leader, James Dean. Mohan, oh, some wavering there. Looks strong right now, even higher than James Dean on the bank. Correction there, coming into the power alley. Gets out of the touch and go really quick, transitions into that second outer zone. James Dean lunges forward. Looks like Mohan getting the clean air. Doesn't take out those clips, but does not shake James Dean. Doesn't make any major mistakes.
Well, you can definitely see that James Dean was kind of biding his time there. He gave a bit of room to Mohan to initiate, and then he started to close the door up on the bank here as he watched where Mohan was going to go. Mohan started drifting up high. You can see a little bit of wavering there. Dean trying to keep it close here. And then he backs off for a second, lets Mohan get through this power alley, gives a bit of room there, tries to come through the smoke line. And you have to imagine that James Dean's team is letting him know that they think that Kyle Mohan has an incomplete on run number 1, so he just needs to come out of this run unscathed without an incomplete, and he would get the win here.
And slide him left for Mohan, right for James Dean. You have to assume they are going to go right. Ryan, Andy, and Brian. It's unanimous. James Dean, the Wordhouse Drift Team, Falcon Tires, S15 advances on. We advance on. Ken Gucci, Dan Burkett. Ken Gucci waits on the line in his Greddy Performance Parts, Toyota Racing, Toyota 86. He's on Falcon Tires. Ryan, have we found out why he's got the Transformers logo on the hood? Do you think it's more than meets the eye? 12th year we've been coming here in a row. And again, Evergreen Speedway resurfacing the track. Drivers really liking it. As the Goosh, Ken Gucci, almost hitting those cones there, but it's a clean start. Here we go. Ken Gucci initiates quickly, pulling away from Dan Burkett, but now Dan Burkett lunging forward, but drops down on the bank. Ken Gucci. Whoa, Dan Burkett goes into the side of the Goosh.
And we were moving towards it. Here's from the start, Jared. You can see Gucci and Burkett pretty much side by side. Gucci initiates quickly, gets mid-high line, starts moving higher. Burkett's trying to close the door here. He goes on a little bit of a tighter line. He's able to get proximity, but he's obviously sacrificing a lot. Now, there is a section right there where we have a decel area, and you can see Burkett was really on that tighter line. And you can see the contact that actually kind of bunny hops the back end of Gucci's vehicle.
Yeah, Pat 2 went down and talked to the other judges. He took all of our individual calls on this, and we've all come to the agreement that Dan was at fault for that hit.
From the top rope comes Dan Burkett. What are we doing, Awano? Are you dancing? Are you flexing? Awano-san from FD Japan is up here dancing. He's excited. All right, so we got the battle of the yellow vehicles here. We got Frederick Osbo and his Rockstar Energy Drink, next entire Toyota Racing Toyota Corolla hatchback. The hot hatchback going against definitely a unique vehicle. Let's call it what it is, the most expensive vehicle off the showroom floor in stock trim compared to the others.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And obviously a lot of interest in this battle here. We've, we're halfway through the season. We saw James Dean make his way through into the top 16. Frederick Osbo now as another championship contender up to bat. And we did hear from his team yesterday that he had some issues with the vehicle, the engine.
Oh, yeah.
And this will be the first time that we've seen it out since practice. So both drivers now to the line, and we'll get this battle underway.
Federico Sciarrifo from Milan, Italy, driving that Ferrari 599 GTB Fiorino drift spec. He's on Nitto tires. And what's going on here? As Federico tries to jump the gun here, and he knew, I think that's exactly what he expected, because Osbo just very dominant out front. But Ryan, like you said, he popped the engine yesterday and swapped it out, so it looks like he is up and running as Federico real wild and loose there in that chase position.
Yeah, take a look at this. You can see Federico is way in Osbo's lane. Now Osbo is able to initiate cleanly, but that could very easily get called back. And so Federico's got to be aware of that if he makes it past Frederick Osbo. But you can see right here, Frederick Osbo way out ahead. Big gap established here. Federico having a tough time hanging close to Frederick Osbo, and that's probably why he was trying to get as good of a jump as he probably could, but obviously the speed and the grip from Frederick Osbo just outmatching Federico here, especially on this course where you can see Osbo is still able to swing wide, hit that outside zone, draw a nice smooth line to the first and second inside clip. But unfortunately for Federico, he's got a lot of ground to make up here.
All right, so we are seeing Federico now in the lead position. Frederick Osbo in the chase. All right, so Federico out front going against the former champ of Frederick Osbo. Real contender here for the championship, and it looks like Cone is knocked over, so that will be a restart. All right, we're speaking to the judges right now, and that is actually a second strike for Federico, because Ryan, you were talking about and elaborating on Federico getting in the lane of Frederick Osbo.
Yeah, he's got to be really careful here, and the judges could have easily called that back. And just listening to what Ryan was saying is that he didn't think that it impeded with Frederick Osbo's initiation. That's why they didn't call it back. But certainly the team could protest if he were to lose this battle in regards to that. But it does have Federico up against the wall here with 2 strikes.
All right, so Federico aware that he has 2 strikes. Don't knock over a cone, and he will be in the clear. But again, very unique vehicle, Formula Drift rookie Federico Sciarrifo. He was to be competing last year in FD, but just didn't get the car together, and now here he is in that 599 GTB. Triple F drifting department. Looks like he is being extra cautious with that big wide Ferrari. Look how wide that thing is compared to that Toyota Corolla hatchback. Now initiating is Federico. Frederick Osbo applying the pressure there. Federico, little twitchy there on the bank. Gets out to the touch and go. Osbo transitions into that second outer zone. A wide swing around that first front clip. Now Federico around the final front clip. And Frederick Osbo doing exactly what he needed to do. And you have to assume all signs are going to say Frederick Osbo.
Yeah, a still strong lead run from Federico Sciarrifo, though he had some mistakes. But Frederick Osbo, he really tempered himself, but he still kept it competitive. You can see he gave here Federico room to initiate where he wanted to, but then he quickly got right up on the back bumper here of Federico. Federico was on that midline. Now he comes off the bank. You can see Oswald still keeping a pretty close eye on him. Federico through that middle section of the course, the power alley. He went a little bit wide on that outside zone, which pushed him wide on that first inside clip. But Federico finishes his campaign. Oswald keeps it tight towards the end. Here it is through the touch and go in the power alley. Oswald through the smoke line, tucking up on the inside here. As you can see, Federico misses that inside clip. And that is both runs in the books.
All right, so Osbo and Sharifo slide them left for the Italian driver Sharifo and right for Osbo. Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Ryan says Osbo, and all of them say Frederick Osbo gets the win. Advances on into the top 16. Before we move on to our next battle, Laurent Nickel caught up with a very excited driver in Jeff Jones.
Advances to his first top 16. And guys, it wasn't easy because you had a cracked subframe. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, so coming into this round, we nut bolt the car when we left the last round in Jersey. We did a demo, threw the car in the trailer, came here, put everything on jack stands, and we're just going around it. We're like, oh man, aluminum subframe. This car's got aluminum subframe. The S14 never had that. So this is a new issue to us. Apparently fatigue, just kind of, Jersey's a hard track, right? It's a lot of things happening there. So that sucker cracked. Luckily, Chris Jennert has a shop down the street. He's an old Formula D driver. He hooked me up, welded that sucker. We took it out of the car. He welded it up. We got it back in, and it lasted me 2 days until this morning when we're going over the car again, and we saw a hairline cracking right next to the weld. We're like, oh, it's just gonna go again. So luckily, we put it on Instagram, and a bunch of dudes helped us out. So we got another subframe. We had one already. We throw in the car, got that, and then got out to practice today. So yeah, our weekend didn't start out that easy, but it's going really good now.
And top 16, can you even put into words what this means to you?
Let's start out with a high five.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how I am about making it through the rounds. This is my first time making top 16 here. So yes, happy to take Doc somewhere, take Edelbrock somewhere, and you know where I'm trying to take it. Taking this Edelbrock thing to the podium trophy, something earlier. I don't know how I said it, but I'm gonna bolt this sucker. If I beat Peter, if I beat these dudes, because Peter's going down next, I'm taking it up there.
Jeff Jones, best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Guys.
Oh man, Jeff Jones, 1 in a million, man. That guy is just pumped right now. So Jones will be going against
Peter Vinsek.
Wow, that's just too funny. Matt Field, Dean Carney, All-American vehicles. One American driver and one Irish. We got Matt Field in his Falcon Tires Wish Corvette going against Dean Carnage Carney. We still have Ken Gucci and Dan Burkett, second half of that battle, as we saw Burkett slam into the back of Ken Gucci. So right now it is Field and Carney. You can see Dan Burkett waiting back there as well. See when Ken Gucci's going to come. And a cone is hit. All right, so that is a strike there for Matt Field.
The chicane has really helped keep the cars compressed, keep them together, getting into that first turn. And one of the things that we've had to do, in addition to the chicane, is kind of have some chicane rules. So you do need to make it through the chicane without moving any of the cones. And we will reline them back up for another try at it here.
All right, here we go. Restart. No cones hit. Here we go. Send it, fellas. Matt Field, the beast from the bay, initiates. Carnage in that chase position. Getting close is Dean, but look at Matt Field high on the bank. We saw him hit the wall yesterday. Keeps it clean. Into the touch and go, into that second outer zone. Matt Field about the second hash mark. Dean a little bit closer. Ryan, pretty solid, strong, a lot of horsepower out there on track, 2,000 plus.
Well, Matt Field was super impressive in New Jersey with that second place finish. He gets a great initiation here. Both guys very early. Dean really pushing the pressure here, but watch Matt Field. He moves up higher on the bank, and Dean stays down low. And obviously the judges are really weighting that section of the course. Nice job by Matt Field hitting that touch and go, snappy back around, grabs that angle, hits that first marker right there on that inside clip. Then you see a little bit of separation there towards the end, but I think, Jared, for Matt Field, the most impressive part was the bank for him as he moved up really high, getting up near that wall. And Dean Carney kind of stayed down on a mid-lower line. So now we will switch things up as both drivers head back to the start line. Dean will have an opportunity to take the lead, and Matt Field will chase him down.
All right, so Dean Carney. All right, so it looks like, yeah, it looks like he will be calling a competition timeout. Is that confirmed? So you can see Dan Burkett warming up his tires. So Matt Field, he will park it to the side. He's going to have to wait for Dean Carney. Take a licking and keep on ticking there for Burkett, as Gucci was again given adequate time and not utilizing the comp timeout.
So Jared, as you mentioned, Ken Gucci in a favorable position here. Dan Burkett not opting to take his competition timeout.
Yeah.
We'll see the second half of this battle, and then also on that competition timeout with Dean Carney.
All right, here we go. Dan Burkett out front. Ken Gucci in the chase position. Like I said, kind of risky here for Burkett, just taking the risk and not calling his comp timeout, but right now seems to be working out. He really needs to put down a solid run here. Ooh, overshoots that touch and go. Doesn't get all the way out to that second outer zone. Tight to the front clip. Transitions now into that final front clip. Goes Rad Dan and Ken Gucci. Just, again, ain't no slouch, but I don't know if that's enough.
Well, Jared, it's pretty apparent this was Gucci's for the taking here. He just needed to avoid an incomplete, rather, and you can see he's trying to keep the pressure on Burkett. Burkett doing a great job out front. His team looking at the vehicle, saying that it's fine. You can see it's performing very well. He does overshoot that touch and go just a little bit, but out front, a really solid lead run. Makes you harken back to the last run and hoping that we got a clean run there so we could see the entirety of this battle. But unfortunately for Burkett, getting the fault for that collision is going to be the biggest noteworthy moment between these two gentlemen here in the top 32.
All right, so the results are in. Slide them left for Burkett, right for Gucci. And there goes Ryan, Andy, and Brian. Ken Gucci gets the win unanimously, moving on into the top 16. And it's great to be back here next to you, Ryan.
It's always nice to be next to you. It's nice and comfortable here in the booth. The only thing I don't like about being up here is I'd much rather be like in the environment of the fans. Like
we're in a little bit of a bubble.
Yeah.
We're in a glass house of emotion. And if somebody decides to you know, let one go, it's not fun.
Right, that's the most exciting thing that we'll see inside here.
What's exciting right now is Christos Blush throwing it down. This Eurofighter is a beast, a rocket ship of vehicle. Mass Motorsports V8 under the hood of this carbon Kevlar beauty that is deemed Eurofighter. Achilles tire, HGK, Motul, and Wisefab knocks over the cone.
Well, Kristaps putting himself in a very favorable position yesterday, qualifying number 2, and then we had those two drivers fall out of competition, so they gave us 2 buys, one for the number 1 qualifier and one for the number 2, and that's this gentleman right here, Kristaps Blush, looking very solid in practice and laying down a additional practice run here in his buy run. So he will be moving on directly into the top 16, and he'll face the winner of Cameron Moore and Jonathan Castro as they are at the line now. And then following that, Jared will head back to the competition timeout from Dean Carney between one run and run number 2 with Matt Field.
All right, so right now we are seeing Cameron Moore on the start line. Jonathan Castro back there warming up his Nexen tires. These guys have not seen battle against each other, both of them in Toyota 86s. Castro running the factory engine, Cameron Moore vying for the 2JZ setup. All right, so Cameron Moore, the butcher, he's from here in the Pacific Northwest, from Battleground, Washington. He was absent at a few previous rounds of competition, but it's good to see him back here again. And again, Moore will lead. He qualified 15th compared to Castro's 18th. And looks like we have a clean start. Here we go. Cameron Moore versus Jonathan Castro. Castro in the Jero Metal Dom. Next to tires, red, white, and blue from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Cameron Moore, big angle. Castro catches up to him right there on the wheel. Looks like he's exceeding just a little bit of the front nose of the vehicle. Like to see him drop back a little bit. but really going for it, taking out that front clip. That could be a problem here. Whoa, buddy, but no, it's not. Wow, Cameron Moore, Jonathon Castro, aggressive, but Cameron with a good lead run.
Well, Jared, if you are going to reduce the line, be on a tighter line, that's what you want to do. You sacrifice a little bit and you get a little bit at the same time. You can see Cameron Moore nice and high in the bank. Big angle here. Jonathon Castro, lower line, but super great proximity. So the judges will take both of those things into account. The great line by Moore, the proximity by Castro, but the lower line now coming through the smoke line here. You can see right there, center punches that inside clip and carries it with him. It doesn't get under the tire, and he's able to keep the pressure on through that final turn. Here it is right here. You can see great job by Moore up top. Castro really pushing, trying to get that proximity, but doing so by sacrificing his line just a little bit. Moore coming through the power alley. Castro tucking up on the inside as Moore hits that outside zone. Surging forward is Castro, and then right there he's on a little bit of a tighter line again and just gets that cone in the perfect place where it doesn't get underneath the tires. It just flexes the front bumper a little bit.
All right, Jonathon Castro will now lead. Cameron Moore will give chase. So we know Castro's got it in him. Can he take down Cameron Moore? Again, Cameron Moore with the hiatus from earlier this season, now back. Very convenient, as he's from here in Washington. But right now, Castro will lead. Cameron Moore giving chase. Big gap already. Cameron Moore trying to inch closer. But Jonathon Castro, not all the way up the bank, but very consistent through the bank. Gets out to that touch and go into that second outer zone. Cameron Moore now jumping forward. Castro just on one right now as Castro, Jadot Metal Dom, Toyota Racing, Toyota 86 on Nexen tires.
Well, here we go, run two. You can see right there that Castro initiates nice and early. Moore was trying to get a good jump out of the gate to keep pace with Castro. Castro may have a little bit more speed on him. Moore trying to close the door here as Castro leaves the big bank into the touch and go, transitions back around. Moore through the smoke line, has to make an adjustment as he goes big angle, then pulls some out, and then through that first inside clip into the second. A bit of separation here towards the end, and the run is wrapped up. Let's take a look at Moore here as he comes through the smoke line. Big angle right there, then has to pull some out as Castro takes his line nice and tight to that first inside clip, and then a smooth transition there, just hitting that cone on the last corner through the finish line.
Slide him left for Castro, right for Moore. Ryan says one more time. Andy says Jonathon Castro, and Bryant says one more time. All right, so Lontaine, you said one more time. Again, you and Bryant seem to be really in synchronicity here.
It looked like Moore did a good job on outside zone one. He was really high. Castro was close, but he was lower on the bank. And when you compare the lead from Castro in that same area, Moore had less proximity. Castro wasn't as high on the bank. And they kind of made mistakes throughout the run, both of them. Neither one of them really did a great job of fulfilling the lead or the chase goals. And it looked like they were, even though the mistakes were made in different areas, if you kind of add them up, they were sort of the same.
Sounds good, and that's again majority rules 2-1. So Dean Carney did make his competition timeout. Seems that he's got some communique with Lorette Nickel, and she said that having some ignition issues in the Oracle Lighting Achilles tire Dodge Viper. Here we go. Dean out front, Matt Field in that chase position. The beast from the Bay. Look at these guys just ripping through that bank. Woo-wee, Rick. Look at this. Into the touch and go goes Dean, as does Field. And Field trying to stick it to the door there of Dean Carney and crossing the finish line.
Well, let's remember this was run number 2 after that competition timeout. That wide swing over there by Dean getting to the center of his allowed lane, but Matt Field not phased here, staying pretty close to Dean. Dean, great job in his lead run, high on the bank. Now both drivers come off. Dean goes a little bit deep into that touch and go. Matt Field through the smoke line as both drivers vie for their opportunity here through this final section of turns and the last 2 inside clips there. Big smoke through the finish line.
All right, going to the judges. Again, Dean Carney having some issues with his vehicle. It's unfortunate for him. That Oracle Lighting Achilles Tire Dodge Viper, his team working hard. Isn't enough. Let's slide him left for Carney, right for Field. Ryan says Matt Field, and so do Andy and Brian. Matt Field gets the victory and advances on. He's going to be going against Frederick Osbo. Right now, it's Ryan Turk versus Farouk Kawai in that Reckless Racing BMW. Ryan Turk in his gum out Toyota Racing, Toyota 86 on Nexon tires. Both these guys coincidentally running 2 JZs under the hood. So 4 JZs on track, no Beyonces. As here we go, Ryan Turk will lead. Farouk giving chase. Ryan Turk initiates. Farouk not too shabby in the chase position. Big angle. You can see him dropping down the bank a little bit as Ryan Turk keeps it high. Out to the touch and go goes Ryan Turk. Whoa, Farouk lunging forward. Look at that. Looks like he found some grip there. And Ryan Turk wraps it around that final clip and across the finish line.
Well, we're definitely seeing some marked improvement in Farouk here. Ryan Turk gets a nice early initiation. Farouk starting to close the door with big angle there. And there he falls down. His line is a bit lower here as Turk stays consistent. Nice and high on the bank. Now through the touch and go. Turk just gets his left rear tire into it as Farouk comes through the smoke line. Goes a little bit too long there, but is able to get back on course, and you see a bit of separation here towards the end. So nice valiant effort there by Farouk, but Ryan Turk out front, pretty solid lead run here. Gets from that touch and go out to that second outer zone pretty solidly. You can see Farouk right there attempting to close the door and just pushing a tiny bit too hard. And now we will switch things up here.
All right, so Farouk now in that lead position. Here we go, Farouk Kawai. He's going to lead. Ryan Turk giving chase. A little slow trickle here. Farouk with that faint entry. You see the pre-flick. Whoa, buddy. That got a little hairy there for Ryan Turk. So as Farouk initiates, you see middle line of the bank. Ryan Turk. Oh, wow. Looks like Farouk hit the wall and now bounces back. The car is kind of all over the place right now. Ryan, let's look at this again.
Well, never lacking excitement here, even the top 32 as we see Farouk coming out using that flick initiation. Ryan Turk surging forward. Farouk got up on the bank there. Didn't seem like Turk was able to anticipate that, and then got really close here to Farouk coming down off the bank. And watch Farouk as he comes through. He's going to miss that touch and go. He's going to tap the wall there. You can see the lid of his bumper, the lid of his trunk pop up. Then he's going to be on the inside of that first inside clip. Turk sees that. He stays back and keep himself out of harm's way there.
Slide him left for Farouk or right for Ryan Turk. As again, Farouk goes into the wall, and there it is. It's unanimous. Ryan Turk gets the win, and he advances on. All right, so before we move on, we'll revisit the one more time of Cameron Moore versus Jonathon Castro. Just a few more battles left. Including this one more time battle, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 battles left here in top 32. All right, Cameron Moore will lead, and Castro will give chase. Once again, this one more time battle. Both Toyota 86s, again, different engine setups as Cameron Moore throws it in. Good angle from Moore. Castro, you see him shimming there. Middle portion of the bank. Moore hanging on to it. Very familiar with this track. This is his home track. Tight to the clip. Go both the drivers. And one more clip. Whoa, Castro. Wow. Got hairy.
Great move by Castro there towards the end. You can see he's still kind of struggling a little bit to stay on the same line as Cameron Moore. Here, they're much closer here. Nice job by Castro from this section, but then he slowly starts moving down below as Cameron Moore stays nice and high. The judges really like to see you follow that lead driver's line. Now both drivers hit that outside zone after going through the touch and go, and then right here you can see Castro. Nice job timing that transition, gets that nose right there next to Cameron Moore. A solid lead by Cameron. Just got that left rear tire into the touch and go to reach back around out to that outside zone. And then right here, a great bit of timing by Jonathon Castro. Not making any contact, but keeping the pressure on.
And ready to see the second half of this one more time battle. Again, the winner will be going against Christos Blush, who's our #2 qualifier in that Eurofighter BMW, our carbon Kevlar monster. And here we go. So Castro jumping out of the gate, but Cameron Moore, woo-wee! Nice job there by Cameron Moore. Chasing down into the touch and go into the power alley. Cameron Moore jumps back up to the side of Castro. Has to back off a little bit. Transition around that final clip. Very aggressive driving by Moore, but I got to tell you, Ryan, he would lunge forward, but then he'd have to back off. I'd like to see him be consistent.
Well, both drivers having their moments of brilliance here. You can see Castro nice and high on the bank, and Moore a risky proposition, but it pays off for him. He's able to stay on the same line. He's moving around a little bit, but great job on that proximity. Falls back a little bit here. As you can see, Castro goes through the power alley, and then right there, Moore tucks up on the inside. And then both drivers wrapping back around. You remember that's where Castro dove in the last time, so you see a little bit of back and forth, both drivers surging. Castro a little bit higher on the bank here, but Moore moves up on the same line and gets really close to Castro here. And as they come down off the bank, you can see a bit of separation. Castro gets into the power alley. And right there, Moore transitions in the middle of that power alley to try to gain that proximity, almost pulls it off.
All right, so waiting on the judges, and they are in. Here we go. Slide them left for Castro, right for Moore. Stick it in the middle for one more time. Are they going to go at it again? Ryan says one more time. Andy says Jonathon Castro. And finally, Brian says one more time. They're going 2 more times, 18 more times. We're going to be here all day. Lantain, what say you, kiddo?
Again, some mistakes from both drivers. Some really great moments of brilliance, though. They did a good job in the lead positions mostly. I think the mistakes were mostly made in the chase position. Moore did a much better job on outside zone 1 of mimicking what Castro was doing. But down on the infield, he was kind of surging. He was forward. He was falling back. He wasn't able to maintain that proximity all the way through. So in terms of the infield, I think Castro won that little area there. But he did have a less, I guess, proximity and on outside zone 1 he dropped down, unfortunately, and wasn't able to maintain quite up there. But I want to see somebody win this one outright.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And yeah, I didn't like I liked Cameron's aggressiveness, but it needs to be consistent. Just not
smoother.
Just lunge, smoother.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, so we are again having a one more time party here with Cameron Moore and Jonathon Castro. All right, so now we are going to Dai Yoshihara. Now we're going to die. Sorry, now we're going to see Daijiro Yoshihara and Kevin Lawrence. These guys have never seen battle against each other. This LS turbocharged turn 14 distribution Falcon tires Subaru BRZ, an FD OG from 2004 going against Kevin Lawrence, a newcomer here for pro competition, the Juku Racing S13.4. Whoa, buddy, as Dai Yoshihara. Kevin Lawrence now jumps forward. Whoa! Flirting with disaster there, but keeps the composure. That's what we're talking about when just keeping it smooth. Dai Yoshihara's making it look easy out front. Dai qualified 10th compared to Kevin Lawrence, qualified 23rd.
Well, what was the main thing that came out of yesterday's competition with regards to Dai's qualifying was that he was very smooth and consistent. And you can see that manifesting once again here on his lead run. You can see Kevin having a bit of a hard time keeping in drift here against Daijiro Yoshihara. Dai hits his touch and go. Now watch as he gets out to this outside zone. He taps the wall there for a second, and it pushes him off. He's able to get back around, hit that inside clip. Meanwhile, Kevin was able to close the door on inside clip number 1. Let's watch it again from this angle. Dai hits that touch and go. Right there, he just taps the wall. He has to get on the e-brake, keeps his composure, allows Kevin to get close to him right here. But remember, on the bank, Kevin made some mistakes, so he's got some work to do. So Dai with that tiny mistake, but overall a solid lead run for him. Kevin in the chase, having a hard time maintaining drift angle up on the big bank.
All right, Kevin Lawrence going against the former champion Again, just so much track time since 2006. Dye's been coming here, and that's when we've been coming here. But Kevin Lawrence, look at that, jumping away. This RV Power S13, he is long and strong. Whoa, but then overcooks it in the touch and go. Saves it. Woo. Kevin just sitting there front row, just grabbing a lot of seat with his rear end. But unfortunately, Kevin Lawrence, that's going to be the end of his weekend.
Well, Kevin Lawrence, for me, is definitely one to watch as he develops as a driver, because we've seen him do some things as a young driver and a Pro 2 driver that are just absolutely phenomenal. And you can see he's not afraid to take heavy risks. And sometimes that pays off and sometimes it doesn't. Here he got a great jump against Dye. He's able to do a pretty good job on the bank, but carried a lot of momentum coming off the bank. And then as he put angle in the car, you can see him trying to get on the brakes here to slow it down, but obviously over-rotates, and Dye does a great bit of defensive driving. And we have a nice little 90-degree there between those two guys as they park it on the infield, and this should be an easy win for Daijiro Yoshihara.
Not waiting on the judges. Slide him left for Lawrence, right for Daijiro Yoshihara, and I think you know the outcome. Daijiro Yoshihara gets the win over the Pro 2 champion, Kevin Lawrence. And Dye will move on. Right now, we are seeing another Mustang doing battle, but not part of the RTR team. This is JTP, Justin Pollock. He's going against Taylor Hull. JTP, originally from Michigan, now in Southern California, piloting the Falcon Tires Roush Performance Ford Mustang. Taylor Hull debuting a new car, the Comp Cams ATS-V on Achilles Tires, Affirm Consulting. From Georgia. It's good to see his car up and running hard. He's going against JTP, who is very aggressive and very fast. All right, here we go. JTP, Justin Pollock will lead. Whoa, what is going on here? Getting loosey-goosey, and then throws it in. Justin Pollock. Massive angle there. Whoa, throw some more at it, but Taylor Hull, not too bad in that chase position coming into that second outer zone. Diving in on that front clip goes Pollock, as does Hull. And around that final clipping point. Good job, fellas.
Well, you can certainly tell that Taylor Hull has made some dramatic improvements to the vehicle and how it's performing. The big swinging initiation there from Justin Pollock, and you can see Hull starting to close that gap here, but big angle from Pollock coming off the bank into the power alley, heading out towards his touch and go. Hull coming through the smoke line, trying to get up on the inside, but JTP wraps it back around, cuts right into that first inside clip, and Hull about 6-7 feet away right there on that inside clip, and then a little bit more towards the finish line. So good job by Hull keeping it in good close proximity, but a solid lead run by Justin Pollock as they switch things up here.
All right, Taylor Hull will lead. Big strides here from previous rounds. Taylor Hull has one fan. It's his wife. Taylor Hull will lead. JTP, Justin Pollock, will give chase. All right, got a clean start here. Taylor Hull with the fresh air. Justin Pollock tries to get up to him. Taylor creating a little bit of a buffer here between the two of them. Doesn't get all the way out. Just barely dips the toe in the touch and go. Doesn't get out to that second outer zone, but a wide swing around that first front clip. Dials it in around the second. Man, that was got a little hairy there.
Well, you can see that Taylor's got the grip and the speed here. He initiates just a bit past the Les Schwab sign, so that may be a big factor here overall. Remember, that last standing cone is where you're supposed to initiate, and that's right before the Les Schwab sign. And then Justin Pollock trying to make do with what he had there on initiation as they come through the power alley. You can see Hull overshoots that first inside clip rather. I'd love to see that again on the initiation. It looked like he initiated well past that last standing cone.
All right, so Hull and Pollock. Slide them left for Hull, right for Justin Pollock. You said Taylor Hole looking strong, but I just don't think it's enough, and the judges agree. JTP, Justin Pollock unanimously gets the decision over Taylor Hole. So JTP gets the win. Lontaine, elaborate a little bit here.
Yeah, Ryan had it right in the lead position. Taylor initiated a little bit late, and it was kind of a slow rotation to angle at initiation. He did a good job on outside zone 1. You could see him pulling away from Pollock, but you have to wonder how much of that was due to Pollock initiating at the right spot and Taylor initiating a little bit later. Justin caught up a little bit where Taylor Hall made a bit of an error there going to outside zone 2 from the touch and go. He had a slow rotation, but I think that Justin had a better lead and a better chase overall.
All right, thank you, Lontaine, as we are seeing the second one more time. So this is the third battle between these two gentlemen. Again, Castro, Cameron Moore. The Butcher will lead. Jonathon Castro will give chase. See if we can finally get a winner here. All right, so again, Dai Yoshihara, JTP. Dai Yoshihara will go against Ryan Turk in the top 16. JTP will go against the winner of Honadel or Von Gittin Jr. in our next battle after this. All right, fellas, let's go. Who's going to get the win? Send it. Cameron Moore initiates. And that turns on the smoke machine. Castro to the door of Cameron Moore. Cameron Moore high, but you can see Castro wavering on the bank. Now coming into the power alley. You can see Moore get out to that touch and go and to that second outer zone, and Castro rotates. Castro spins. Cameron Moore continues on. That's going to be a major advantage for the Butcher.
Well, Jared, we've seen both of these drivers go back and forth, have some impressive moments, certainly some highlight moments, but no major mistakes, no incompletes, and this is probably the first one that we've seen. Castro, again, really pushing the pressure here, taking the lead from Cameron Moore, who's got a tremendous job on that lead run up on top of the bank, but now coming back off, now hitting this power alley here. Castro is right there, a really interesting area for him to spin out. You look at it from this side, I think we'll learn a little bit more as Castro comes up on the inside here, and then right there you can see him starting to spin. He's not able to control it. And here it is as he comes through the smoke line. You can see Moore still on throttle there. There is a decel area there, so I imagine that that's going to apply, and that would still be a spin out. But yeah, we'll definitely want to get the take from the judges. We've got those 3 decel areas where it should be expected. So we'll find out how that was interpreted here after this run.
All right, so here's the second half of this battle. As long as Cameron Moore keeps it together, you have to assume that he will get the win. So your hometown Washington boy going against Dominican Republic's own Castro. Here we go. Castro versus the Butcher, Cameron Moore. Castro initiates. I'd like to see Cameron Moore gain some ground here. Now into the power alley, out the touch and go. Cameron Moore in the smoke, and look at Castro, wide swing. Cameron Moore! Oh my goodness! Almost identical. I mean, didn't loop it, but man.
Well, this is interesting, right? Because
lead versus lead, chase versus chase.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to explain it because we're obviously everything's going to come down to what happens with Cameron Moore here, and we should really pay attention to Jonathon Castro's lead because now we have potential two incompletes in the chase position, which means the judges will be judging the lead to lead.
Judge is going to judge.
So that is at least my initial interpretation of what's going on here. Whenever you have an incomplete from both drivers in the chase position, it's the leads that the judges will have to take a look at. Whereas if you have an incomplete in the lead run, the run is essentially over because of safety. So as fans at home and here at the venue are taking a look at this, my guess is, and I think we'll find out shortly, is that the judges are looking at this because they're judging the leads now.
Brian, you talk about it like you know what you're talking about. That's awesome. Glad you're finally catching on.
15 years, baby.
15 years, finally getting it. So here it is side by side. So again, the side-by-side runs here of Cameron Moore on the left and then Castro on the right.
Now remember, Cameron Moore, it looks like he was doing a pretty good job staying nice and high on the bank. Castro as well, maybe Moore was a little bit higher. Now as they come down off the bank, let's watch the touch and go. Moore was a little bit shallower. Castro a little bit deeper on that touch and go. Both drivers get to that outside zone. Now take a look at the inside clip. Moore's nice and tight. Castro is nice and tight as well. This would be funny if this is another one more time.
I think it's going one more time, dude.
Now both drivers through that last inside clip, so splitting hairs.
Yeah, we are definitely splitting hairs. And, you know, like I said, Cameron Moore just needed to keep it together. He was only 2 clips away from advancing on.
It's going to come down to who was at fault for both spins. That's down to interpretation, of course, and that's the most subjective part of this sport. So I need to make my call right now as well.
All right, get back to it. Just a few more battles left. Looks like the results are in. The results are in. Cameron Moore versus Castro. This is the second one more time. Slide him left for Castro, right for Cameron Moore. Ryan says, Cameron Moore. Andy and Brian. Brian says Jonathon Castro, and Andy says Cameron Moore gets the win.
Way to build the tension there, guys.
Congratulations to your boy from Battleground, Washington. He advances on. He'll be going against a tough competitor there of Christos Blush. But you can see, look at those guys congratulating each other. Round of applause for Castro and Moore. All right, so moving on to our next battle. 3 more battles left. I think Alec Honadell's allergic to front bumpers. He's always losing his front bumper in that Rain X S14. Alec Honadell, Vaughn Gittin Jr., these guys have gone against each other one time before, and look at that. Alec has defeated the former champ. Honadell swinging, swing, swung. As Vaughn Gittin Jr. gives him chase, Honadell into the bank. Look at that, looks like he's dragging bumper. Vaughn Gittin Jr. right there, shadowing Honadell into the power alley. Transition into that second outer zone. Honadell tight. Alec. Woo. Honadell, Huddy, Rain-X, Permatex, Hoonigan, S14.
Well, great battle here, and you can see that wide sweeping initiation. Vaughn opts to go the bumper to nose route. And then right here, Honadell nice and high on the bank, but Vaughn making some adjustments to stay on the line there, keeping the pressure on. Now coming down off the power alley, Honadell a little bit shallow there. Vaughn puts a bit more angle in the car so he doesn't make contact as he comes through the smoke line. Honadell wrapping around this last inside clip, but Vaughn is right there, not letting him go. A great start to this battle here. You can see Vaughn right there puts big angle in the car to try to avoid getting too close for contact, but he's still able to maintain proximity. But out front, Alec did a pretty good job there through that section of the course.
During the halftime break, just want to make sure that you stick around for the AM halftime show hosted by the Maximum Driftcast fellas. Just want to make sure that Sam's mom is watching, as well as Paco Ibarra, and then Corey the Hot Dog Hoofer Hosford, crushes hot dogs all the time. The AM halftime show hosted by the Maximum Dorkcast. I made a little slide there. Silver-haired fox. Sam, sit down. You're a child amongst men. All right, so as we will see the second half of this battle, Vaughn Gittin Jr., Alec Honadell. All right, and here we go. Looks like we got a clean start. And here goes Vaughn initiating. Alec Honadell right there. And Vaughn, big angle there as Honadell chases him into the power alley, gets lost in the smoke a little bit there, the Nitto tires. And Honadell takes a little souvenir of that front clip, 1 and 2. Kicks it out of the way.
Well, obviously, one difference here was the proximity. Vaughn got a great jump. He was able to keep distance here. Alec right there at the beginning, it starts to float away. Alec now starts to close the door here, but then coming through this power alley on this touch and go area, you can see some separation here. Honadell tries to gain as Vaughn wraps through that first inside clip. And again, right here, Honadell's a bit too tight to that last inside clip. So now both runs are in the books.
All right, so here is Vaughn Gittin Jr., Alec Honadell. Slide him left for Gittin, right for Honadell. And Ryan says Vaughn Gittin Jr., Andy, and Brian. Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the victory, unfortunately knocking out that Rain-X, Permatex, Black Magic, Hoonigan, Next entire S14. These guys have not seen competition before. Matt Van Kirk, a Formula Drift rookie. Shooting for that Rookie of the Year. It's up against that of Austin Meeks, Dirk Stratton, Kevin Lawrence. Those are all rookies. Again, both these guys with the LS, and we are about to see Odie lead. Odie qualified 6th compared to Van Kirk, who qualified 27th. Odie very dominant. A lot of seat time, very comfortable in this S chassis, and you can see that quickly. Big angle there, very settled as Van Kirk drops down the bank a little bit. Odie Bakshis out to touch and go, bang, switches it up, gets out to that second outer zone, tight to the front clip, knocks it out as Van Kirk, whoa, Van Kirk, flirting with the side of that car, saying, hey, how you doing? Staying out of the cold?
Well, we talked yesterday about how Odie has really improved his qualifying game, and you can see here as a lead driver, it really does pay dividends here. Some separation. Odie's nice and high. He's near the wall. Consistent line, great angle here. Now coming down off into the power, he hits that touch and go, wraps back around, boom, hits the bumper on the wall, but keeps the angle in the vehicle consistent. Now right here after this last clip, looks like Odie gets caught up for a second, but then he's able to pull out of it as Van Kirk is able to slide into the side door without making contact of Odie Bakshis. And now we will switch things up here as Van Kirk will take the lead. Odie Bakshis will chase him down.
All right, so here we go. Matt Van Kirk, Odie Bakshis on the second half of this battle. As Van Kirk throws it in, nice job. Lacking a little bit of angle there. I'd like to see him with some more angle. This is a qualifying run. Definitely get docked some points. But it is not. It is head to head. Oh, big angle there from Van Kirk. Again, this is his home track. He's from here in Washington as well. Transitioning around that final clip.
Second half of the battle here, Van Kirk in the lead position. Odie Bakshis not giving him an inch. And you can see right here, Van Kirk on that mid-high line, trying to find some angle in the vehicle here, but he's going to push a bit hard. You can see the angle coming out of the car there, and he goes off course through that section of the course right before the touch and go. But Odie unfazed, sticking with him there, and the battle is over.
Slide him left for Van Kirk, right for Odie Bakshis. As Van Kirk leading the, man, look at that. Unfortunately for Van Kirk, going for that Rookie of the Year, gets taken out early in the 32. Odie advances on. Next up, we have the 3-time Formula Drift champion, Chris "The Force" Forsberg, going against. This machine was built to shred. Put him in a Kaufman. Matt Kaufman, I'm here to destroy you, Forsberg. As these guys have seen battle against each other twice before, and Forsberg undefeated. That means he's won twice over Kaufman. All right, so this is our final battle of top 32. This is our final battle, top 32. Again, we have their AM halftime show, but right now, Chris "The Force" Forsberg will lead. And that NOS Energy 370Z, and it looked like Forsberg straightened out there, but then reinitiate. Oh, and another straightening. So Forsberg has Gremlin show up.
Well, this is definitely very interesting. It all starts right here. As you can see, Forsberg tries to initiate and does not initiate. Then he does, and then the car shuts off again right there, and you see Kaufman making contact with him. And this is a tough break for Forsberg because every point is important for him in the position where he's at right now in the championship. So getting knocked out in the top 32 would be a massive blow. But this is the second time we see Forsberg's car look like it shuts off there and he stops drifting, but it started with initiation. So I have to imagine it's going to be a competition timeout for Chris, and the judges, of course, obviously because there was a contact there, will have to assert fault. But I also think that the judges may say incomplete from the initiation for Forsberg potentially.
Yeah, Chris had definitely an issue at initiation. He managed to get initiated, but quite a bit after the latest initiation point. got on throttle. He seemed to have another mechanical issue halfway around the bank, shut down. At that point, Kaufman was nice and close, had nowhere to go, made contact with him. The fault was assessed to Forsberg. He'll get an incomplete, and he will have to take a competition timeout to work in his car. Since Matt Kaufman was not at fault for that, he will have the allotted time, so up to 10 minutes to look at his car without having to take a competition timeout.
Yeah, it's a real bummer there for Forsberg. This is our final battle of top 32, and this is a major delay here. But again, at maximum, it'll be 10 minutes as, again, Kaufman is allowed to work on his car. Lantain elaborated on all that. So, again, unfortunate turn of event for Forsberg. He's going to need to come back, and he's going to need Matt Kaufman to make a mistake here on the second half of this battle. Welcome back, as we are currently on pause here because our final battle that was to be Forsberg. And speaking of the devil, there is Chris, and he had some issues there. Man, that could have claimed his whole car, man. Could have written that thing off.
Yeah, and the later that something like that can happen in competition, you know, the better, especially when you're fighting for a championship. But unfortunately, it happens in the top 32. He's got a big hill to climb here now against Matt Kaufman. We do see him leaving the pits, heading to the start line, which means that unless there's major damage from Matt Kaufman, we should hopefully see him shortly.
We did it when we were in New Zealand one time. All right, so all joking aside, right now it is not a joke for Chris Forsberg. He is he's going to need to put down a solid chase run, and he's going to need Matt Kaufman to make a mistake. But Kaufman is sitting pretty right now with an advantage after Forsberg's kind of mechanical failure there, having him to go into that competition timeout. And again, Kaufman was able to inspect his vehicle. All right, so the winner of this battle going against Odi Bakshis in the 16. And here goes Kaufman. Thunderbolt Racing Fuel. Oh, and Forsberg shuts it down again. That'll be all she wrote as long as Kaufman keeps it together. And Kaufman, so very unfortunate for Forsberg. Not the way you win, but Matt Kaufman's going to take it.
Well, an easy berth into the top 16 for Matt Kaufman. He was able to get through the finish line with no incompletes. And obviously for Chris, you see something fall off his car there. Not sure if that was a camera or something attached to the vehicle, but he shuts it down here about a quarter away through the big bank. And at this point, Matt Kaufman just needs to cross the finish line in drift. And you can see as he hits this first and second inside clip, he's able to do that pretty easily. So this will be Matt Kaufman moving on into the top 16 in a tough break, not only for this event, but also the championship for Chris Forsberg.
This will be our final verdict here, and I believe you should automatically know the outcome. Slide him left for Matt Kaufman, right for Forsberg. And Matt Kaufman unanimously gets the win, advancing on into the top 16. On behalf of Ryan Sage, Lorette Nickel, Ryan Lantain, our judges, the whole gang here at FD. This is the AutoZone Showdown presented by Rain-X Round 5 of the Formula Drift Black Magic Pro Championship. I'm Jared Dienda. Send it.